What's going on, people? Proof here, and today I'm coming at you with episode 2, or the second edition of Watching the Tape with Coach Proof. And today is going to be me playing Rise of Miracle going against Chaos Link Jokers. And it's a matchup that I broke down before in one of my previous videos, but the times have kind of changed, I guess, where Chaos isn't played as much, but it's still a matchup to look out for if you're playing Spike Brothers. And I happened to come across somebody playing the deck when I was playing on CFA last night, and I saved it because I thought it was a good enough game to showcase my thought processes when I'm playing against the deck. And so I'm let it play. I'm gonna pause it at pertinent times if they come up. And so when you're playing against Chaos, you want to look out for the troublesome cards of Chaos Breaker, Chaos Bringer kinda, and Chaos Universe, their main stride, of course. And so to facilitate that, you want to try and have as little field as possible / no field at all. And I'm gonna pause it right here. And so in the interest of trying to keep my field low, I want to try and use Mecha Trainer before they can ride to grade 3 to lock them down. And so my plan of action would have been to take this Vanguard hit and use Mecha Trainer to get him out the way, but then he goes into this guy, and it's a recording, so I'm not on CFA, but I can't remember his name for the life of me. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comment section, but he's the guy it came in their very first trial deck, I believe. And he is on hit, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and lock it, which sucks for me because he was able to hit because I didn't want to guard this and get rid of my heal and risk the one to pass that early and lose 2 cards, essentially. So I took the hit, and I would have used Mecha Trainer to get him out the way. And so in the interest of keeping my field as low as possible to not fall into a Link Joker trap, which I'll get into, I just went into Raw Misery and attacked with her unboosted. He took it, which is great for me. And so he decides to stall me at grade 2 for a turn, or he decides to stall himself at grade 2 for a turn, and I take the hit to Sea Breeze him. And unfortunately, my Mecha Trainer's lost again. So ride into Nova, and the plan is to Sea Breeze and just, I wish I had a third counter blast so I could use Rise of Nova's skill to get a double watch, but I could have alternatively, if I had the Mecha Trainer around, I could have used Mecha Trainer to get a Liar Lips out. And since I had the heal, I could have, if my intention was to first try Miracle Ace, I could have just used the heal in my hand. But since he locked it down, it kind of pigeonholed me so I wouldn't fall behind into this line of play. And so, I say "and so" a lot. He no guards that, and I could have punished him with crits because I believe I had all my crits still available, but that's okay. It didn't come through for me that time. And with him going up into grade 3, if he goes into, well, you can see his hand, but I was thinking, okay, Chaos Breaker is gonna come down. He's gonna do his universe things and lock me down further. But he goes into Chaos Bringer, and I'll let the play out a little bit more. He chooses to skip his stride step and goes right into the main phase. And to me, that was a misplay. Assuming he had more than one of the limit break enablers here, he could have strode or pitched to stride this guy here and one of his other grade 1s, and then stride into Chaos Bringer, Chaos Universe, and then he could have used his starter to get the other limit break enabler, assuming he played 2, and then he could have did Chaos Universe's skill or Chaos Bringer skill to bring out Chaos Breaker. So many Chaos units, man. Excuse me. And so to me, that's a slight misplay because he could have locked down one of my front row circles here, and maybe he didn't know what Spike Brothers did, which is not uncommon. but he could have locked down one of my front rows and then put the bolt line behind his Vanguard to pressure the hit with a 33K column versus just a raw 18K column with the Vanguard here. So to me, that's my opponent misplaying here, because I guess he wanted to hold this I don't know Link Joker names apparently. Proton. So easy G guard here for the no to pass, save myself some cards in hand. And if assuming he didn't get a crit, I would have definitely taken the first one, or he didn't have bolt line, but no crits, I just took that one easily. With my next line of play, if he rolled normally, this would have been my first stride play. So since I can't Miracle Ace, I just go right into it, which is go Damn Fear and then converting a card in my hand into a Devil Watch, recruiting a Devil Watch, so that way I can buff the soul as much as I can for the upcoming Miracle Ace turn. Especially since he didn't do the play to lock down my front row, I have all this available to use. The purposes of doing the play the way I did it is because when he uses Chaos Universe, he's gonna lock down one of these front row circles guaranteed, because why wouldn't you? And with this, I have nothing here and nothing here at the end of my turn. And the Link Joker trap that I was telling you about is if I put, say, Frog Raider here, what he would have done is that he will have locked down the other opposite column, and then he will have locked down Frog Raider with the Proton in his hand. Photon, not Proton, Photon. And that way I would have had a locked card in this circle, I would have had a locked card in this circle, and then I wouldn't have been able to use Miracle Ace at all. That's my quote unquote Link Joker trap, which is where you have a lockdown front row unit and a unit in opposite back row locked, and you can't facilitate a Miracle Ace because you can't have a Frog Raider boosting anything. And the 5K from Miracle Ace likely won't get you through because they're all jump attacks that are easily blocked while you're reducing your hand size in the process. And so the plays that I make sure I don't fall into this trap, which is keeping everything open. And so I hit 2 triggers, which is nice. And with Danfer hitting, I had 2 options here. And for those not to know, Danfer says when she hits, I call a unit with charge from my hand and it gets +5. And then after it returns to the deck, you draw a card. So you cycle out a charge unit. And so I had 2 courses of action, which is to take this Dove here. Sorry it's blocked. I don't know how to get rid of this timeline to be less obtrusive. But you take Dove, call out to this circle, or I could have taken the Devil Watch and called it here to attack this guy and pretty much get 2 counter blasts here. In the interest of putting as much pressure as possible on a deck where if the game goes longer, I have better chances to lose, I go for the Dove play, especially because I could stride pretty easily the following turn. And so take a drink every time I say "and so" in the future. And the order for attacking there is kind of important, because if I go Devil Watch first, I soul charge first, and then I don't know what I soul charge here, but it could have been a charge unit. And if you go Devil Watch first, you soul charge first, and then if you go Dove first, you draw first. So in this instance, I drew a heal to protect myself more versus whatever mystery card, say it was a charge unit here. So sometimes you have to see the order your cards come. I probably should have gone Dove first to draw the card, because it could have been a charge unit, since I saw a charge unit and then 2 consecutive non-charge units, but hindsight. Now I have no locked units because I guarded the bolt line, which helps me out for universe. And since I have nothing in my side columns, whatever he locks down, assuming he doesn't play Malupton, which nobody really does, I can put Frog Raider in the opposite column and have my full combo enacted. And then he really, really wanted to keep Mega Trainer locked down. And now, with him at 4 damage, going up to 8 cards, maybe more if he played draw triggers, I don't care if these guys with the bolt lines hit, as long as it means I'm not gonna die. So I take the Vanguard attack. So he hits 1 crit, so I'm at 4 damage. And then Alter Ego. Nice dandy draw trigger. And then a heal, so this side column here can no longer hit. So he Omega locks this guy. And then this is an easy G guard right here. I don't think I pitched anything for this guy. What I should have pitched Gloria, because it would have gave me 2 more chances at another charge unit. So see, I drew the Misery here. But we're going into our boy, the finisher, Miracle Ace. Well, not 4. I'm gonna say he's at 5, but he's at 5 damage with Miracle Ace getting ready to come down. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 charge units, and I believe I'm about to have 6 in soul, because I had 1 from riding, two from riding up to grade 3, 1 from Nova skill, 1 from Devil Watch's skill. I think this would be 5 and 6 right here, because 5 for Lyre Lip, 6 for Nova skill once more. And I call it Gloria here because in my ignorance, I was thinking that Link Joker got a new G-Guardian that said when your opponent's Vanguard attacks, your opponent chooses one of their units and locks it. And if you do, this unit gets +5, like a reverse version of Demon Maxwell. And so I called out Gloria here so I can have something to lock, but I was just misremembering a particular unit. I didn't want to search it out in the meantime. So we go Lyre Lips first, Vanguard, and then we draw a card. And just to show how much I don't favor Axe Diver, especially, I actually chose to give up Axe Diver versus giving up the Misery in my hand, which is silly in the long run. I just didn't see it, I guess. But I would not have had enough soul to use everything. And so I had 2 courses of action here, but since it's at 5, it doesn't really matter. It kind of does. And in a little bit, you're gonna see my opponent forget that he could have used Chaos Bringer's skill and search out Chaos Breaker Dragon, which is fine. I don't really mind. It's a casual game, but something that he could have remembered earlier. But my 2 courses of action, I have 6 in soul now at the present moment. I could have called out Devil Watch, and then I would have soul charged to 7, and then with the other Devil Watch in my hand, I would have soul blasted down to 5, called out the second Devil Watch. I would have been up to 6 soul again, and I would have been able to use 1, 2, the rest of my charge units in my hand. But since I have 6 in soul and 2 Hive Makers in my hand, I could have done the exact same play and gotten off 4k more power for it, because I would have been able to use Hive Maker for 1 and then Hive Maker for the other one, and then have enough soul to call out 3 charge units. Now, would this have changed if I had the other Axe Diver in my hand? Potentially, but that was a misplay on my part. I should have definitely given up the Misery there, because there's no way I could have played her. And this is even before drive checks. So so now I'm hitting for 23 versus hitting for 19, and he just goes into Dismal. And so pretty much plays out as you would expect, minus the faux pas, I guess you could say, of him forgetting that he had Chaos Bringer on the Vanguard, which is what he does without notifying me. A little salty, I guess. But it's a casual game, but just game state things right there. And just muscle on through. He has to give up 3 cards to protect this particular attack. And while this is playing out, this definitely shows my thought process and my game plan when going against such a deck like this. And I was trying to think of what can the other versions of Spikes do in this regard. And Bad End has an easier time, especially because it just hits for raw power. But the issue is that it needs to have the Limit Break Enabler on the Vanguard circle. That's that game. And so Bad End needs the Limit Break Enabler on the Vanguard circle. So what you want to do is that you want to put Elsa behind the Vanguard at all times. Use either slide Mechaturn to the side, use Mechaturn as soon as possible if they're not playing the on-hit guy. Put Elsa behind the Vanguard so that way they can't put you in the trap, and try to give you as many uses of Gooden as possible. Dudley has the fortunate advantage of being able to attack from the back row through Geronimo. So what your goal is to try and push them to 5 as soon as you can, so then that way you can attack with the team from the back row, get them off the field, and try to push them over the edge that way. To me, Ryzen has the best chances against Chaos because they have the fortunate ability to use Frog Raider, which just keeps boosting up attacks to high amounts of power, which is easier to overcome. And the second best, in my opinion, it's close between Bad End and Deadly Jessica versions of the deck, just because Bad End can't attack from the back row but has better power, and then the opposite is true for Dudley. So if you're playing those decks, just be mindful of not falling into the trap that I mentioned before, and then that will definitely put you ahead of everybody else when it comes to this matchup. So hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe this is longer than I expected, but just trying to give you guys as much information as possible, especially when it comes to these matchups that are tough, that I know give people trouble. And so, take another drink from me before it ends. So, until next time, hope you enjoyed. Look out for more. I'm trying to bring you guys some more proof plays. I'm thinking I'm going to feature Nubatama next, so let me know what you think about that. And until next time, peace. Be easy.